In this session, we are going to cover the third type of pricing engine calculator using the grid parameters. In the subsequent sessions, we are also going to cover how you can build the pricing engine using the calculator method and a combination of both grid and calculator. But in this session specifically, we are going to focus on building the pricing engine using the grid parameter method. While ordering a product on the site, user will see multiple options, and depending upon the option chosen, the price will get auto-calculated. As you can see, the option chosen is changing the price here. So the pricing engine calculator has the ability to auto-calculate the price depending upon the options or the selections made by the user. These selections can be configured either by the grid or calculator method. If you have only few options from which your customer will choose, use the grid parameters area to enter the option name and choice your customer will choose from. If you will be providing many options with many selections, you may want to enter them in the calculator parameter instead. The reason with many parameters and many options, the grid method can create a very large table with cells you need to fill in. In this session, we are only going to focus on how you can have these options in the grid parameters. This is the administrative area of your Prosero admin. In order to build the pricing engine, you want to choose Preferences, Pricing Engine, click on Add New, and choose the option Calculator. You may want to give it a name, so let's say and click on New Calculator. As soon as you hit on New Calculator, you will see a form-like options generated which has various contents like quantity parameters, grid parameters, and calculator parameters. In this session, we are going to focus on quantity and grid parameters. Each parameters has 5 different components. So you can have up to 5 quantity parameters, 5 grid parameters, and 5 calculator parameters, depending upon how complex you want to have your pricing engine. Let's start building the grid parameter pricing engine. So you will have these 5 quantity parameters, which is Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4, and Q5. Since we are using the grid parameters, we are only going to have single quantity option, which is Q1. The name serves as a label for the prompt, as a prompt for the end user to see what the option they will see on the product page. So for example, the user will see how many brochures. We need to define the range for this option. Make sure you click on enter after every entry you have made, and there should be no comma or space should be used in the quantity parameters. This is how you can define the pricing engine quantity range. Below Q1, you have an option of each additional quantity increment. You will only see this for the first quantity parameters. If you choose to allow the user to enter the arbitrary quantity, you can enter an additional quantity increment here. For example, if your quantity options were 250, 500, and 1000, and your each additional quantity increment is 1000. The system would use the additional quantity increment price to determine the price for quantities greater than 1000. Again, this would only apply if you choose to allow the user to enter the arbitrary quantities rather than limiting the user to a drop-down list of quantities. Now we will come back to the grid parameters. Again, we can have some options like size, paper type, and we can give folding. Each options will have different components, so we'll say 8.5 by 11 and 11 by 17. Make sure that every option you are giving for each parameter should be in the next line. £100 mat. Folding, we can give the options none, half fold, and trifold. Once you have entered the data in the quantity and grid parameters, you will need to click on Generate Excel file. The system would authenticate and validate the data you have entered, and if your data is accurate, it will generate an Excel file in the tabular format. This is how your Excel sheet would look like. As you can see, all the options has each possible combination in single row. Size, paper type, and folding has all the possible combinations in this section. This section is basically for the grid parameters, whereas this section is used for the calculator parameters. You can define the price for each quantity for single combination. You also have an option of per thousand weight and package weight. This is only used if your shipping integration is an integrated shipping method. So you can apply a per thousand weight here. Also, for individual quantity and for the option selected by the user, you can define a price here. Once your sheet is ready, you can go back, click on Cancel, and upload the file you have created. Once you upload the file, just click on Save. I already have one calculator created in which I have entered all the price related information. So I will just show you how you can test your pricing engine. Before you can assign this pricing engine to your storefront product, you can test it whether the price coming are accurate or not. You can also edit the pricing engine, and let's say if you want to make the changes in the Excel sheet, you can make the changes here and upload it back in order to modify the pricing. Make sure you click on Save after each modification. But this time we are going to see how we can test the pricing engine. This page is similar to what you are seeing on the product page. Now, here you can test the engine by giving multiple options to the user. Let's say by allowing the arbitrary quantities and also giving the ability to show the per piece price. Click on Set Options. You can verify the prices here and see if the weight, per piece price, and the price is coming accurately. This is how you configure the pricing engine calculator using the grid parameters. In the next session, we are going to cover how you can build the pricing engine using the calculator method. Thank you.